Hello, my name is Alex Robinson and I'm the Communications Coordinator for Green Goderich. Green Goderich is a grassroots environmental organization based out of Goderich, Ontario, near Lake Huron. And we work on a lot of environmental education and advocacy, especially towards things such as the zero waste movement and carbon emissions reduction. Today I'm going to be talking about proper recycling. Properly recycling is extremely important and not too difficult once you get kind of the hang of it. Even at Goderich's local recycling plant, Blue Water Recycling Association, 18% of the items that are sent in the blue bin are actually non-recyclable and have to be thrown out. And in larger cities such as Toronto, up to 1/4 of the items that are put into the blue bin are not recyclable and again have to be sent to the landfill. So as a general society, we think that if someone goes to the blue bin, it's being reused over and over. We're doing a great thing for the planet. But unfortunately, that 18% is a fair amount of recyclables that are actually not making it to the actual recycling plant. First of all, I want to say I'll be focusing on the regulations from our local recycling plant, Blue Water Recycling Association. But the majority of these tips will apply province-wide, but just make sure to check with your local municipality first. Common items that people tend to throw in the recycling bin that are actually not recyclable are coffee cups and lids, greasy pizza boxes, styrofoam, cardboard food containers that are lined with wax or plastic, wrapping paper, aluminum foil or tins, milk cartons, bread bags or other thin plastic film bags, and anything labeled compostable or biodegradable. Even if it seems like a recyclable material, the recycling plant doesn't have the proper environment for compostable products to break down. Things that are recyclable are paper, cardboard, so things like boxes or toilet paper rolls, metal such as cans, plastic such as bottles, containers, and glass such as bottles and jars. If you're ever unsure, go look the item up on your local recycling association's website and see if and how it is recyclable. I'll walk us through the basic rules of each category. Let's start with plastic. The bottom of most plastic materials has a symbol with a different number from 1 through 7. The presence of this symbol does not mean that the product is recyclable though. It just lets you know what type of plastic that item is actually made of. I won't get into all the types or which types to avoid purchasing in the first place. That's a rant for another video. But you are able to recycle most of these numbers except for 6 and 7. 6 is polystyrene, or more commonly known as styrofoam, and 7 is anything that's mixed materials, so things like milk cartons. These are a combination of cardboard, wax, and plastic. These are not recyclable because we don't have the abilities to extract all of the different parts while still keeping them viable for reuse. So for plastic items you can recycle, make sure to completely clean the item out and let it dry before placing it in your bin. If there's any food or other residue left on the items, they're not recyclable anymore and could potentially contaminate other items within your bin. Why should the recycling dry completely before being placed in your bin? Because of our next item, paper. If the wet item comes into contact with paper, it can actually bog it down during the sorting process at the plant, and it might not be separated out with the rest of the paper. In terms of preparing paper itself, it is stapled together. Remove the staple. If there's any tape on it, remove that tape. Or if there's a window within your envelope, make sure that you do take that plastic window out. Because just like with our number 7 plastic, any mixed materials, in this case paper and plastic, are not recyclable. This goes for cardboard too. Remove any plastic windows or tape on your cardboard boxes. And if any part of your cardboard has food residue, it is not recyclable. For example, as I mentioned before, greasy pizza boxes. If there are any grease spots, the entire box is not recyclable. However, you can either cut out the portion that is greasy, toss it in the compost or garbage, and recycle the clean, uncontaminated parts of the box. Or even better, you can compost the entire box if you have a compost bin. To help it break down faster, cut it into smaller pieces to speed up the composting process. In terms of metal, most cans are recyclable, but only if they are tin or steel. Cans that are made with a pry top lid are actually made of aluminum and are not recyclable. If you're unsure, Wendy from the Blue Water Recycling Association actually taught me a great tip. Place a magnet on the can. If it sticks to the can, it is a recyclable metal. If it does not, it's aluminum and therefore not recyclable. The only exception to this aluminum rule is aluminum beverage cans. They are allowed in the blue bin. Finally, glass. This is one of the best items to recycle. Glass can be melted down and reused over and over again without losing any integrity. Make sure to clean and dry it, and you're good to go. And in terms of all materials, any materials that are less than 3 inches can't actually be recycled at our local plant. This includes things like individual yogurt cups, coffee cup lids, plastic bottle caps. Attach any lids back to their container for recycling. For things like metal cans, you can put the lid back inside the can and pinch the top to not let it escape. So for a quick recap, clean and dry all of your recycling before placing it in the bin. If you can't clean the residue, cut it out and recycle the clean portion only. Separate any mixed materials such as plastic windows and envelopes or tape on boxes. If you can't separate the mixed materials, the item can't be recycled. Attach any items that are less than 3 inches back to their original container, such as pinching that metal lid inside the can, or putting caps back on bottles. I hope I touched on the majority of frequently questioned items. If you're ever unsure if something goes in your blue bin or not, look it up on your recycling plant's website. Most companies will have a detailed list of all of the items that they accept and how to recycle them correctly. Please let us know if you have any questions or other video ideas, and I look forward to seeing you in my future sustainable tips videos. Thanks.